Beautiful underwater shot there. Our next guest is one of the world's leading underwater explorers. For more than 50 years, James Delgado has been searching for shipwrecks, investigating more than 100 all over the world. In 2019, his discovery of the Clotilda in Alabama, the last known slave ship to arrive in the United States, made headlines worldwide. He later spoke with Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes about finding the wreckage.
Sonar's on, zero pressure, good to drop.
So we're almost over now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're coming right up on it.
So that's the bow right there.
That's it right there?
Right on
Yes.
the bow, yep. And then you can
You can see it like that?
Yeah.
Wow, you can see it totally clearly. I mean, that's the ship.
In terms of where people could actually fit 5 feet by about 20 feet.
Wait a minute, it was only 5 feet high? So people could barely stand up in this hole.
Yes.
I'll never forget that 60 Minutes segment. His details for the search of shipwrecks in his new book. It's called The Great Museum of the Sea. And James is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, it's funny. I first got really interested in shipwrecks when that 1980 movie, Raise the Titanic, came out. Do you remember that film? It wasn't that good. But when you're 11 or 12, you are fascinated by the notion of finding shipwrecks. How did it begin for you?
Growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area, a lot of shipwrecks around San Francisco, but what got me was the fact that a lot of them that came during the gold rush in 1849 got pulled up into the waterfront, turned into buildings, and then were buried. So downtown, those high-rises cover a graveyard of ships, and they dug one up in 1978, and this young archaeologist went, okay, my life's just changed.
Wow. So what kind of research do you need to do to even, because we sort of often know where the vicinity of where ships go down, but there's got to be a whole lot more to actually pinpointing the exact location. How does that work?
It takes a team, and that team includes oceanographers, people that understand currents. We're also looking at old records and charts. You're also trying to understand the forensics of it. Like, how fast could the ship go? If it's sailing, does it go here or there? And then, what does it take for a ship to sink? Does it go this way or that way? And then, what's going to be left on the bottom? I mean, we've got some great images that people think of as shipwrecks, but there are times what we see as a pile of rocks and a few worm-eaten timbers and maybe an anchor. And then you have to go, all right, what exactly am I looking at here?
Well, James, this book is so well written. You speak with such poetic terms about what you find under the sea. You call the sea the largest museum on Earth, and that every shipwreck has a story to tell. Yet, not everyone agrees with how that story is told, given the tragedy that these wrecks often hold.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I think the most important thing for people to remember about shipwrecks is that it's okay for them to have different meanings. You don't all have to agree. Some people like them because they inspire you with the stories of bravery. Others are tragic and sad. For some, they're the graves of family. But for others, they're a great opportunity to dive and to explore. What I want to say in the book and beyond is that's all okay. It's good to have these various interests as long as we understand that everybody has their own right to their own opinion about it. And as long as you're not hurting that wreck or what other people can do with it, all's fair.
So much of shipwrecks remains in our lore. There's nostalgia surrounding it, certainly with the Titanic. You've been to the bottom of the sea to look. You even brought a prop for us to look at. But you think about that staying power.
Yeah.
What was it for you when you actually were right there?
Nothing quite prepares you for seeing Titanic. I mean, it's such a well-known ship. We've heard about it, whether you sang the songs or even before Jim did the movie. There it was. But when you have fallen for 2.5 hours in a submersible and the pressure increases so that a regular styrofoam coffee cup gets squeezed down like this when it's strapped to the outside, you're thinking about all of that, and then suddenly it goes away because there it is, looming out of the darkness. I mean, we landed in the Russian submersible Mir-2, approached it, and you could see it in the sonar, but then there it was, this massive hull rising twice as high as the ceiling here, still painted, but streaked with rust and rusticles that are orange and yellow and red. and then a porthole that swung open and another closed. And I have to say, one of the spookiest moments, because Titanic is a ship of the dead, is when I first looked through the porthole, 2.5 miles down, the lights illuminated, and I could see a face looking back at me in the porthole.
No.
And it was my own reflection.
Oh, wow.
But he's like, you
Wow.
go, okay.
Sure.
That's the power of Titanic. But what's more powerful, perhaps, is not the scare. It's the realization that this ship sitting on the bottom, racked and ruined and deteriorating, still is the stage upon which some of the most powerful drama played out that we all know about with a shipwreck. And you're there.
There.
And you're there in so many other great shipwrecks that you chronicle in this book. James Delgado, really great to have you. The book is fascinating. It's called The Great Museum of the Sea. It's available now wherever you get your books.